Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Attack on Titan episode review. This one's going to be for Season 2, Episode 2, which is called I'm Home. So, yeah, the second episode of the season, how was it? I enjoyed it, of course. Like, this is a really high quality anime that you can't really take away from it. But there's obviously a lot of interesting discussions going on around the fact that obviously it's only 12 episodes this time out, and like how quick the pacing is given that we only have 12 episodes, and people wanting a lot to happen within each of those episodes, because I think people are expecting like almost like wondering like, does that mean it's 12 episodes but they're trying to cram in the same amount as 26 episodes, or are they just doing 12 to cover like a set point? They're covering an arc in 12 episodes. It's those sort of questions that we're kind of like wanting to be answered, and then like once these 12 episodes are done, is it just that like, oh, and then it'll be confirmed for another 12 episodes, and then that way in terms of the animation schedule it's more of just like groups of 12 that they're doing it in, or what. But anyway, it's just the specifics of this episode, primarily a Sasha focused episode, which was very interesting to me. I enjoyed that because obviously Sasha's always been like an interesting character in that she obviously was primarily known as like Potato Girl from the first season and never really got much development outside of that, beyond the fact that she likes food a lot and then the whole potato thing. But here, while I like it, I feel like they almost didn't use the time effectively, and that she gets almost a full episode to herself. But I don't feel we get like an insane amount of development for her within this one episode, especially given that this is really going to be more or less it for her. I think I can't see us coming back and getting a ton more Sasha development, so they kind of had to use this to be her primary backstory episode. And I liked what they did here with regards to her past with her father, and this kind of time period they chose to focus on, where clearly the things are changing a bit. The Titans are causing enough trouble so that the idea of like them as primarily hunters of animals isn't really a thing that potentially is going to last forever. And so her father is kind of more thinking that like maybe he'll take up the government's offer of like, if they switch to primarily farming and kind of maybe get rid of the forest a bit, they then begin to raise horses and they get a certain amount of money for every horse that they raise. That's maybe the way to do things that will kind of help humanity. They'll be doing their part, but also surviving. And Sasha kind of being more set in stone about her wanting to keep the kind of culture of where she's from, even though she's perhaps being quite stubborn about that, and obviously wanting to eat a lot and stuff like that. But it also, you get that scene with Sasha, Krista, and Ymir, where they're kind of Ymir is kind of teasing her about like the way that she speaks quite. I suppose I think that it's meant to be that she speaks kind of like neutrally, but everyone's kind of aware that she actually has a kind of accent because she's basically from the country, not one of the main cities. And she kind of is teased about that, but then Krista steps up and is just like, no, let Sasha be who she wants to be. She can do whatever she wants. Stop being so mean to her. But definitely an interesting one. In that, like, again, the focus of this episode primarily is that Sasha basically goes back to her kind of hometown. She goes into one of the houses and finds just a woman there being eaten by a relatively small Titan, considering the amount of Titans that we see, and her daughter just kind of in shock, trying just to not look at it while the Titan doesn't notice her. And it's this interesting one that because Sasha doesn't have her full like 3D maneuver gear, she can't just easily take out the Titan like she probably could if she had her gear. And so it is this kind of different type of action scene as she has to kind of escape and just somehow find a way to create enough time to get away from the Titan, knowing that she can't really kill it. So her archery skills come up, using her hunting background to shoot the two Titans, both of the eyes of the Titan out, and then that gives her time to get away with the girl. But unfortunately, they do have to sacrifice the mother. While also, presenting the idea that, like, again, this is a fight for survival, humanity, the mother had bad legs, and everyone just left her behind and didn't really think to go back because the daughter would stay or anything like that. So some definitely kind of heavy stuff going on here, but I suppose the core like emotional aspect of the episode of the Sasha flashback with her father, and then Sasha present day and her father seeing her heroism was like, okay, that's cool, but is that all there kind of is here? Like it didn't really feel like notable development. It felt like they needed almost a little bit more time to present whatever they were trying to present. It was still nice that we got the kind of moment of like, it initially seemed like she was maybe quite argumentative with her father, and maybe there was like they left on bad terms, but seeing their reunion here and that he's just honestly proud of her, that she's part of the military and was able to save this girl like that and be so brave confronting a Titan on her own without any like proper gear. That was a nice moment. It's just devoting so much of the episode to that, which ultimately didn't accomplish all that much, and I still don't feel like we know Sasha all that well. It was just a little bit like, when is the season properly gonna like kick off? Because we still didn't get a lot of scenes with like Eren, Mikasa, Armin really. They were in a notable scene here. Obviously Hanji and Pastor Nick were in the cart, Levi was also there, and just addressing the fact that they are going to bring him basically out into that kind of action, and he's going to see up close basically what the Titans do, and maybe that will change his mind if threats otherwise won't. That he will see that him potentially keeping secrets that could be useful, and the amount of people that are dying for those secrets, is it worth it once he sees it up close? That's an interesting take on it, as I suppose Armin and Eren and Mikasa begin to speculate about the fact that the walls are made of Titans, and the characters present their kind of theories on it. And definitely a huge reveal at the end of last season that is going to be I assume a huge plot point in this kind of arc that we're in now. But again, they're still getting that into place. A lot of this kind of arc right now is just characters traveling to a location, other characters traveling to a location, and there doesn't seem to be a main central core presented just yet, because like last episode was primarily just like, okay, you go here, you go here, you go here, Sasha, you're going there, Connie, you're going there, we're traveling to this place. Here we get the Sasha stuff, and then we basically jump in with where Connie is at the end of the episode, but everything's still moving into position, and it's just a little bit like pick up the pace a little bit, because next episode's going to be the 1/4 point of the season, so they got to get things going. But the Connie scene was definitely interesting. I think that was definitely the most kind of thought-provoking part of the episode in terms of continuing the mystery, and the mystery, as I said in my previous review, is for me the main like core of what I really like about Attack on Titan. The world building plus mysteries surrounding that world building are absolutely kind of why I kind of stick with the show, because otherwise I feel like the character stuff tends to be a little weak at times. But definitely just the idea that they arrive at Connie's town, which was established to be basically roughly where the Titans like either hit first or where they've come from. They came from directly south, and that means they had to have gone straight through Connie's village, and potentially that would mean that they didn't have enough time to evacuate. And when they arrive here, like, okay, stuff is destroyed, but it's not like there's like dead people like all over the place. It's not like the chaos, like I say after the Battle of Tross, where there was just body parts all over the place and it was brutal. It was clear that a crazy battle had taken place. Here it kind of feels like there's no one really here, and then there's just this one Titan on top of Connie's house, and they note that like its legs and body structure is such that if this thing were to stand up, it wouldn't be able to move properly. So there's no way this thing got from breaking through the wall to here. It had to have either been placed here by something else, fallen out of the sky, or that we know Titan shifters are a thing. Someone converted into this Titan there and there on the spot. And because it's Connie's house, like, crazy stuff's going through your head about people and Titan shifting and like what exactly is going on. So that's a huge reveal. I assume that's going to be the plot point of the next episode. It's going to be a Connie focused episode, which I'm all for. Again, we got a Sasha episode this time, a Connie focused episode next time out, that's definitely interesting to me. I just hope they get the main plot going, like something really kicks into gear at last. But definitely liked a lot of what was in this episode. It just, it wasn't quite like stunning, wasn't quite like absolutely amazing. And I think there's definitely a tendency with this show that because it's been so long and the first season is so well remembered, that people want so much from every episode. And so when the pacing doesn't quite seem as fast as it should be, given the number of episodes, you can sort of see where there's some like, get to the point almost, like that. What's with this episode focusing on stuff that isn't really important. But overall, I enjoyed the episode, but wasn't like amazed by it, like in the same way as I am with a decent amount of the episodes of this show. But yeah, that's more or less all I wanted to say with the review. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts were on the episode, as well as what I said here in the review. But that has been the video for today. Thanks for watching, and bye.